I'm super excited being here speaking for PyData Global Online. Today's session will be about how to build LLM applications, not AI applications, anymore like large language model applications without vector databases, without storage. Like we're focusing on more how to bring to LLM application streaming data. Let me introduce myself first a little bit for those who doesn't know me. My name is, again, Bobur, or you can call me Tiger, which is in English. I'm a developer advocate for Pathway, also worked for a while for Microsoft, for leading in developer audience for Azure. And nowadays also I'm contributing to some of the open source project on the Apache Software Foundation. Today's session will be about starting with some of the GPT limitations. We are focusing on some of the solutions existing in the market, how we can bring the context to AI responses. And most of you know already because we are Python developers. Nowadays it's one of the, how to say, the hyping topic who is dealing with a lot of data for LLMs. And I'm also going to introduce our open source project called LLM application that helps you to build this AI application without worrying about some infrastructure and costs and so on. You will understand at the end of the presentation what it is. And I'm gonna show you a short demo at the end of the session how you can achieve this without any vector storage and having the AI application is up and running. So today's everyone is talking about AI or artificial intelligence, but much of that talks mainly falls into one of two extremes, as you can see on the slide. AI gonna fix everything, or AI will most probably ruin everything. We'll see how the times comes in the future. But actually, one of the good examples, OpenAI's GPT-4, a powerful LLM, right? Use it for a wide range of NLP tasks, and ChatGPT also set the records of fastest growing user base in January 2023. And that proves that the large language models are staying here longer than we expected, even longer than Bitcoin, the blockchain, or maybe Web3 technology. It's not like a hype anymore. Many companies are applying and bringing real-world solutions by using the AIs. So, and myself also as a Python developer, I decided to build my own application. Let me show you this application. What about quickly summarizing the content, get information that you need in real time from your private, large, unstructured documents in your Dropbox. So you can just ask some questions from multiple documents exist in your Dropbox, or the same tool you can use for OneDrive or Google Drive, depending on which Google provider, or let's say the document drive provider you are using. It helps you to retrieve necessary information, because sometimes you are looking for some PDFs which are maybe more than 100 pages. It's so difficult to find relevant information. But if you're using this tool, your life will be easier. At the end of the demo, you will see how this application works. What about also another AI application I built to find the real-time discounts, deals, sales prices from various online markets around the world? For example, I can search for Nike shoes from Amazon products. I can specify my size and what I'm looking for into AI chat, and it can respond me and find the discounts in real time. This is how combination of real-time information and AI comes into picture. And yet another showcase I have. Think about an application that provides real-time alerts for any significant changes or updates in marketing campaigns. Let's say your system can monitor lots of information such as content, when content changes, or campaign performance metrics, or maybe you change the date of your campaign and it really affects on the future marketing performance. So you will get real-time alerts as soon as marketing some data changes in your documents. The same concept can be applied in many cases, right? When you are changing some data and you are getting real-time alerts with the LLMs. And yet another last showcase I have, what about like without any much effort extracting, organizing unstructured data from like PDFs, docs, PowerPoints, and put this unstructured data into structured SQL tables in real time. This is also one of the examples I provided this gift. This example exactly extracts data from unstructured files and stores it into PostgreSQL table. It also transforms the user query into SQL, which then executed, of course, in the PostgreSQL tables. So you can see all these examples by going to our GitHub repository. You will find at the end of this presentation the QR code. Check out all these 4 showcases, and they can be a foundation for you to build your own AI application. The same alerts, for example, like LLM application, alerting feature can be also used for monitoring the model performance when, for example, LLMs can sometimes produce unexpected, undesirable outputs, and you can receive some alerts. Or in case your LLMs are used for processing sensitive data, real-time alerting can be also useful for security and compliance cases. In case if some security information you use it, you can send the alerts to the team or security team to identify these leakages. So if that sounds good, so let's start with some of the challenges I faced during preparation of this AI application. For example, GPT was even if famous, but there are some problems with GPT. It cannot answer your unfamiliar questions because it doesn't know. I am based in Estonia, in Tallinn. I'm speaking to you online because it has no context. That's one of the biggest problems, and it has no real-time data. Let's test it. With the example of this finding discounts, I tried to find a specific discount this week. Actually, this week is very key keyword, right? Because we don't know exactly when this discounts available because AI doesn't know it. And I tried to test it before building my application, just using this ChatGPT interface. As you can see, it can answer just general advice by giving general advice on how to locate the discounts, but it lacks very specificity regarding where and what type of discounts, among other details we are missing. And so to help the AI application, we know all, we are applying prompt engineering. So we put some information, discount information before we send and ask GPT, where we are providing initial document, right, prior to posting the actual questions. What I did, I just retrieved the JSON response from a real Amazon product API, and I put on the chat. And now, as you expected, this is quite simple to achieve. GPT now can answer our question. But here the issue comes again, the bigger issue, because the model context is restricted. Unfortunately, GPT-4, for example, maximum text length around 8,192 tokens. This strategy will quickly become problematic when input data is huge. In reality, you can expect a lot of longs of list of sales and discounts available in the market. If we're talking about one market, we're think about many markets around the world. So, and other problems also you can face with like a cost or maybe like a manual work because we are just getting the data manually and putting in the chat interface. But the biggest problems comes even with the challenges productionizing this ChatGPT. I like this word, by the way. If you like it, also put it in the comment, because there's a huge problems with productionizing this LLM application. In addition to some problems with ambiguity of natural languages, they also cause latency problems. Let's think about like if you are providing detailed information, examples in the chat or using APIs, model performance might be improved, but at higher cost because you are giving a lot of information and a lot of tokens being used, and it escalates the cost if you are not using any cache system and repeatedly asking the same question. The same question went to the OpenAI API, and you are running out of budget. So, and then let me see, I don't see my camera myself now. Okay, think about also latency. One of the challenges, OpenAI API, for example, they don't have SLAs. You never know your response when it comes to your system because there's no average time. There is also not guarantee when this response available. For example, also it makes it difficult for offline evaluation, like you cannot conduct offline tests or test your code because the data coming from LLMs always different. It's not as the same, so it makes hard, challenging for developers to test their application. So in this session, I'm going to show some partial answer to these challenges, how you can resolve these challenges partially, not fully, because not everybody now is capable of solving all these existing problems I listed out. But let's start from the beginning, how we can add our own data to LLMs. We use ChatGPT interface, as I did, but it doesn't work because I'm a developer. I want to hack something. I want to write a code. So I will start with using the APIs. So what do? You use some open source or the paid providers, LLM providers, such as OpenAI API. They have usually two famous APIs. One is embeddings, next is chat completions. What do? You just send the input data to this OpenAI API embeddings endpoint to calculate vector embeddings. For those who doesn't know what the vector embeddings is, just the 2 points, vector points. If the two vector points are close to each other, which means they are related to each other. If they are a little bit longer each other, which means the distance is longer and texts are not the same to each other. So after we calculate the vector embeddings, we send together with query prompt to completion endpoints. And most commonly architecture in building this RIG architecture, you may know, like retrieval augmented generation architecture shows a very simple architecture. What you do, you are building a data pipeline to build an AI application, because everything is about data pipeline. If you don't have a knowledge in how to build data pipeline, you are failing to build the great AI product. So what you do, you start with ingesting data from APIs, files, databases, any sort of data source, and you run this data pipeline to pre-process, filter out some unnecessary data, hide some security data, and you send this data, as I said, to embeddings endpoint. And after you calculate this indexing, you index vector embeddings, and you store to vector storage, like a vector databases, right? And then once you have this indexed input data in the vector databases, and you start to build your own application with maybe a beautiful UI that makes searchable something and on the UI side, and you have a backend application that accepts some user queries and also calculates the vector embeddings and does similarity search against a vector database data. And if you find some similarities, you start to build prompt, and you just send this prompt the chat completion endpoint. The architecture is very simple to achieve, but if you think about the technologies to build this simple architecture comes even difficult. You need to know, you need to aware of a lot of technologies nowadays. Even new tools are coming up because of AI wave. We are not, it's difficult to catch up with the new technologies. So we decided with our team starting August this year, what if we try to build some open source solution for developers to make the Python developer especially easy without having a knowledge how this architecture, how all the technology in this architecture works, and without using multiple tools. Maybe you can use one tool that combines everything, and you don't have to learn everything together. Just learn one technology and build your application. For example, if you're using LLM application, you can try to search out on Google. You will find on the first place. You don't need the vector databases because it does real-time indexing. It does also real-time query building and prompt building, and sends these prompts to the chat completion endpoint, which means you don't even need some frameworks like LangChain or some Redis like LLM caches or API builders like a Fast API, because we provide a fast API that maybe streams data or even just returns HTTP response. So how these things, fancy things work under the hood, we have had another project called Pathway, which is also application layer for Python, where you can run some streaming data. On your data stays where it is, you can just run on the top of it some data processing pipeline. So if you combine this with the existing new tool LLM application, which is also framework for build AI application, that helps you to build AI data pipeline in real time. So you can bring real-time information for your AI application. That makes also simplification, in other words, like to create your Gen AI projects. For example, which means you have a shorter time to go to market with a lower cost, with a high security, and easily adopt because you don't have to learn many tools, technologies, or some other additional concept. And of course, you can take a full power of streaming data processing tool like a Pathway. So also we are improving with the community to support and add more features to ingest as soon as we are possible from different data sources. Like you can ingest nowadays some data from unstructured data or semi-structured data or the live data, depending on where your data is living in. Some of the key features that we introduced, like for example, we have, as I said, some built-in connectors for CSV files, JSON lines, PDFs, or APIs. So you don't have to implement your connector, or you don't have to write any code to connect to any data source. So in this case, it makes gives you some flexibility. And one of the key features, like as you saw, alerting is a very powerful. I don't see like other technologies who is also doing this real-time alerting nowadays. Also, one of the features I like this user permissions. Think about like the roles, because for LLM applications, roles are important. If, let's say, I'm building AI application for HR system that generates report about employees' performance from the past 3 months, and manager asks like, show me Bobur's performance last 3 months, is because I need to do salary review and I'm asking for a salary rise. But think about, only my manager can see this data. If this system allows to see data for other employees, it's gonna be a little bit conflict, right? I don't want that my colleagues know my salary, because there's going to be some misunderstandings. In this case, user permissions, metadata can be also easily managed inside this fancy application. So from the architecture wise, if you look at the slides in the behind, we had like a very complex architecture for modern stack LLM application. This architecture looks simpler because what we are doing, we are just building our front-end application using any front-end frameworks. I was using Streamlit, for example, for my for UI, and then you can just bring this big component with customizable inside. Like you can customize, for example, your embeddings features. You don't have to use your embeddings externally like OpenAI API, or you can also run your private LLMs, which is finely tuned. If you have enough GPUs, why not? So in this case, as you can see in this picture, like we are ingesting some real-time data, and we are doing real-time indexing, and also we are doing some real-time prompt engineering. And then also request as comes in. You don't have to wait until data gets processed. You upload the data, and your data is available for search. This is one of the powerful. In the Python wise, the code also looks very simple. As you can see, it's with a few lines of code, you have a ready application. As you can see, like for this discounts application, we are trying to read some CSV data. Let's assume that some CSV data contains some discounts information, and you are transforming this data how you want to show, how you want to index this data, and we are calculating embeddings. Again, we are indexing, and we are waiting for the external query from the user, and we are combining this query with input data. The same RAG approach, but it's in real time. That magic happens on the bottom line. As you can see, PW, which means pathway.run, this runs the loop. As data comes in, you do some real-time application. Let me show you how it works. For example, building the data pipelines using the pathway is like you are manipulating static and finite data. Then when you get really big data, you can easily switch to streaming mode from batch mode. Let's say you start to develop in a static mode because you don't want to like streaming, because it makes your life a little bit hard to testing. And then you can just change one configuration to make it work for streaming. You don't have to rewrite your Python code. You just write one code, and then you are good to go. So also, what does it mean for you? You just only build once your data pipeline, so without repetitions. And you need to also provide some connectors, plug these connectors from the pathway on your data streams. So you just start to build your pipeline with the Python APIs. So also you can also send this data to data streams as output. So this all is supported by the pathway engine. Whenever new data points are received, you can see the output result in tables to your end application. And the application can be like maybe also some Kafka topics, or even like a CSV file as output, and so on. So with that, you can also try yourself, check out the LLM application repo. We are growing. We are also calling for massive contribution. If you would like to contribute to our open source project, you are more than welcome. Just by scanning this QR code, get yourself some sort of get your knowledge, and then start to maybe help us with some answering questions, or maybe raising some additional the issues. So, and what about the pathway that others think about us? If you look at the examples with the pathway, you just reduce the latency. If you're building any data pipeline, it's not about LLM applications. We are talking about the streaming world, and it makes your data engineer's life also a little bit easier. And if you want, especially like real-time data work for you from the single day, it's achievable with the pathway. So now it's the demo time. If hopefully I have some time, 5 minutes, I'm going to show you my demo. So this demo you can also find on this QR code. It will bring you to GitHub repository. If you like the demo, please put some stars. It will help me to understand like if it's useful for you or not, or provide some feedback for the application. Thanks a lot. Let me jump on to the showcase. I need to stop my sharing and reshare the whole screen. Just a moment. So let me share my full screen, and we are good to go. That's the way, how we go, and entire screen, and so there we go. I was preparing this demo. Yeah, as you can see, I'm going to show you now this Dropbox application demo. You saw already at the beginning of my slides during my showcases. Assume that you have Dropbox account and usually upload some documents, or you can just sometimes like put a copy of the document in order to not to lose, or you can access from many devices from anywhere, right? Usually I'm a developer advocate. I travel a lot. I do go to conferences, and for me, it's one of the terrible thing is to submit the invoices for the company who is paying for my travel, right? And then what I do, I need to collect all the invoices, and I need to do some calculations. So what if I have this internal data which is not visible to anyone? I can use the AI to somewhat summarize my expenses and provide some report for me, because I don't want to, spend my time for this. So I start to build this application with a simple idea. As you can see in the Dropbox source tool, the source code also looks very simple. You can have a look. The run code looks like very similar to Rack approach. We are just reading the documents internally. We are chunking it, and these chunks are sent to vector embeddings and so on. And we have also UI application, which is simply Streamlit, that makes available this searchable functionality on the UI, because I'm not a UI expert, because I don't want to spend my time for the UI. You just can use a Streamlit to achieve that. Let me show you. This application can run, let's say, by pure Python, or you can use maybe the tools like a Docker, because we have two components, front end and back end, right? I'm running this Docker application using Docker desktop, and on the Windows. It's terrible on the Windows sometimes, but it's good. It's working. I'm running Force API and UI, as you can see. If I open now UI application, it will bring me to Dropbox. As you can see here on the screen, this is my the dashboard, and I have some files, invoices uploaded on Dropbox, and I can say show my all expenses from the previous period, and then it should show me some of my expenses. Here we go. As you can see, data is coming very fast. Even if like, okay, we have uploaded all the documents, you can give a try also by deleting a Dropbox files and upload again. It takes only 3 or 4 seconds to process. You can already ask questions. For example, like you can additionally put like show my all expenses from all invoices, and it should able to summarize somewhat your invoices. And not always, but you can see some summarization from the input, or you can maybe specify like from documents sometimes, because I have not only invoices, I have also the receipts available. Yeah, here we go. As you can see, I have the booking receipts, invoices, and some flight tickets, and so on. And maybe I can also ask in the future to improve my application. Please maybe create some dashboard, create a report PDF, or create an invoice for the company so that I can easily send. So this is simply my application to find, retrieve some useful information from Dropbox. I hope you like it. Let me switch back to my presentation. This was everything what I want to show you. I'm gonna back to my slides in a moment. Just a moment. Yep. Yeah, there you go. So if you like the demo, you can freely check my the QR code, and then it will bring you to the application, as I said. So takeaways from this session. So as we understood, there are some challenges on building LLM applications, but if you're using the tools like open source or non-open source that makes your life easier, especially in Python, like you can also use the pathway technology or LLM App to combine with your existing data pipelines, or you can even use existing libraries in Python without any issues. As you have seen, we are trying to build or provide more examples with the LLM application, like we did the Streamlit example, and in the future maybe some more serious examples, like how you can run your application in the cloud, or how you can bring some enterprise data, and so on. So with that was my presentation is about. Thank you for your attention, and happy upcoming Merry Christmas. I hope you receive one blessing after another this coming year. Wish you also happy holidays, a new year that makes you smile every day. Thanks a lot. And we can jump to Q&A session. Let me check if you have any question in the chat.
I'm going to say we got 2 minutes. It looks like there's no questions yet, but anyone who's on, feel free to drop those in there.
No, I have a question. Like while I was speaking, I don't see myself in the camera. Do you see myself?
I do not see you in the comments.
It's interesting because the camera is switching off very frequently. I don't know if it's because of system, because my camera always was on, but it's not showing on your side.
I'm not seeing that, but I did see another question. Is there a GitHub repo for that? Oh, did we lose you?
On my side, huh?
Yeah, I think we lost you for a quick second. There is one question though. They want to know if there's a GitHub repo for the app.
Yeah, QR code. Maybe I will drop my presentation. This is a Christmas style presentation, and you can check. Or I can drop directly here. Okay, thank you. I think Alessandra shared it already in the chat.
Phenomenal, yeah. I was going to say we could also take it to Discord as well. I think the conversations.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm taking it. I'm bringing on Discord.